free of charge. So that's basically the goal of our foundation. So here is our website, Technology for Change Foundation, so techforchange.org, and you can view here basically all the work that we do in the community. You can view some of the clients we work with, the media coverage, and for those who are interested to support our cause, we appreciate your support and your donations. So feel free to do that, and we would like everyone, if possible, to basically join our social media channels, whether it's the Twitter account or the Facebook page. So basically click on that. Um, let me just show you. So this is our Facebook page, and this is our Twitter page. So just like, share some of the posts that you see and find suitable, and subscribe and share with your community. That would be greatly appreciated. So the topic for today is basically how to improve your website. I'm going to share with you a couple of tips and important information that you might not be able to know in order to improve your website. Now, I said WordPress because WordPress, the easiest content management system you can develop and maintain. At the same time, there is tons of resources out there, so you will easily be able to get templates, plugins, and in the case of organization that don't have a tech person on site, you will be able to purchase a complete theme and you'll be able to customize it. And I will share with you some my favorite site that if I ever needed to get a complete off-the-shelf theme that we can actually use. Now, with every website you develop, before we proceed to some of the tips, there are three important things I would like to share. Number one, the goal of the website. Make sure you have a specific goal in mind and what you want the website for. Because when it comes to web access, according to research, most users decide if they want to stay or cancel their website a minute after they access your site. Yes, Shannon, my website is actually a WordPress. Um, so, so having a website that is simple to view, it's very important because, as I said, you have 5 seconds to kind of confirm whether the user is interested to view your website or not. So make sure you have a goal in mind, and the goal is so obvious. So if you look at my site, for example, the moment you open the website, in the background, you see me giving a lecture. And in the front, I'm basically summarizing what I do. So I'm helping charities, no labor costs, and helping NGOs with their technological needs. So it's straightforward, exactly what the goal is. So it's important to have your goal on the website the moment someone opens your website, so it's easy. There are many ways to do it, and the most effective way is to have a visual in the background. So if you have a huge banner there that kind of showcases what you do, that will be actually excellent. If you don't have that option, then a write-up will actually do. So make sure you have a goal in mind of what you want that website to be. Second thing, get the inspiration from other websites. The most beautiful thing about setting up a website for NGOs is there is a lot of other NGOs that have sites before you. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So the best thing you do, based on the type of charity you are, look for other charities that are actually in the same or similar area. So if you are in, let's in mental health lane, let's call it that. So you can check out other organizations in the mental health lane as well. They don't have to be in the same country. You can search globally and see what kind of menu structure they have, what kind of information they are presenting, the layout. And the more you actually do your research, the more ideas that you will get. So it's very important that you actually get inspiration from other sites. For those who are in Victoria, the best thing you can do, just go to Victoria Foundation website, because it has the best when it comes to visuals and let me just show you. Layout. So as you can see, the menu is here, the layout is here, and obviously whenever they have an updated information, they put it on the banner, and this banner is a slider banner. So if you want to show more than one either announcement or event or funding or etc., it's located at the main page. So this is an example of Victorian Foundation. They're relying heavily on images, which is actually excellent. So this is an example of a site that we can use as a reference. And this Victoria Foundation, by the way, it's also a WordPress website based on my experience. And I will show you which type. So always try to get an inspiration from other organizations. And the third thing and the final thing is understand your audience. So it's important to know where your audience are. So if your audience are located in Victoria, make sure you provide contents that is for the Victoria audience. That's one thing. So based on location. The second thing, based on the type of content. So if your audience would like to see more videos, so it's best that you provide more video-based content. For example, if you, let's say you are a non-for-profit in the arts industry, it's very important that you actually show a lot of pictures and visuals, because that's what your audience want to see, for example. So always try to provide contents based what your audience want to see. Provide them information, make it as simple as possible for them to understand, because the rule is make sure you build a website for a 12-year-old. Make it as simple as possible, because that's the goal. And always remember, you always have 5 seconds. So for those who don't know about your charity, you have 5 seconds to keep them engaged with you, or you're going to lose them to other sites. So it's very important to keep that in mind. So I wanted to share these important things before I proceed. Now, when it comes to building a website, there are a few things I would like to share before building a website, and important stuff that you can work on while you have your website. Now, before you have a website, it's always important to have a sample. As I said, you can always get inspiration from others. If you don't have that and you wanted to get an inspiration, let's say you are in a charity in a very specific kind of industry, and you can find other examples out there, you can always look at this website. It's called ThemeForest.net. What's amazing about this website, they have over 46,000 WordPress themes and website templates, some of them as low as $2. Full disclosure, I don't have any type of contract with them, so I won't benefit by promoting them for any reason. So if let's say if you type in charity, sorry. Uh, Charity. So here example of charity sites. If you remember the Victoria Foundation website, it has this template. So so the beautiful thing about this type of sites, if you see the template, you will see the cost, the type of licenses, and you can see a live preview. The live preview shows you how the website will look like after you buy the template and you load it on the website. So it kind of shows you, and whenever you buy one template, it actually gives you different options. So for example, this $54 is for all these choices. So once you upload it on your website, you can choose these different type of choices. So let's click on this one, for example, home one, and see how it looks like. So it's very close to the layout of how Victoria Foundation is, if you can recall. If you look here, if you see how this layout is, It's kind of a similar. There is a little bit of changes here and there, but you can 100% control how the layout of the site is. And what's amazing about this type of WordPress templates is that they give you the support option. So for this one, you have 6 months of support, which is wonderful. So you will be able to reach out to the people who develop these sites and get some feedback on how to make or improve changes on your website. So, so before you set up your website, I recommend to go to ThemeForest and look at templates of how the site, other sites look like, and if you have any questions. Shannon cannot see my screen anymore. Okay, let's see. How about now, Shannon? Are you able to screen my screen? All right, you are welcome. Wonderful. Okay, so I thought this site is extremely important and extremely effective, themeforest.net. Now, so let's move on to the second topic that I wanted to cover before you launch your website, or when you launch your website. So let's look at the site itself. If you have a site that's already existed, it's always important, as I said, to have attractive visuals on the home page, so it's easier for a user to understand and be pulled into your site. The second thing, the menu have to be super clear, because you don't want users to kind of struggle with trying to figure out where to go to get certain information. Always remember one thing: the main menu is the most important, and you have then a second level, and then you have a third level if you have, let's say, a sub menu. Try your best to make the main menu as specific as possible. I searched a lot of organizations and when I was setting up my menu and my site layout, and I decided this is basically the best when it comes to my non-for-profit. So basically, foundation, I talk about what I do internally. Offer, what I do to clients. Events, because I do a lot of events, planning to do a lot of events, mainly either webinar or other topics. Media coverage, because I would like to promote my charity and showcase some of the people who actually discuss my charity. So I thought it was important to put that as a menu, especially if you are a new non-for-profit. Volunteer, obviously I want more volunteers to help me so I can help all of you. Donate, for people who like to donate, and contact us for those who are seeking assistance. So always have the menu super clear, specific, and for your audience. So your audience know exactly how to do that. And when it comes to the main or home page, social media is a big thing. So make sure that social media integration is very visible and clear on your website. A lot of sites, they have it at the bottom. Some sites have it at the top right or left corner. So it depends on where we'd like to add it. For me, since I'm a new charity and I want people to know about me as much as possible, I have a plugin here that have a social media share available all the time. So if you access the website on your computer or your tablet, you'll be able to see that. On the phone, you'll even see the WhatsApp share, which is by design because I wanted people who are accessing the website on their phone be able to share the website on their WhatsApp, which is extremely important. So I will share with you at the back end of my site what are these plugins and how they look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and log into my site. So this is basically my dashboard. So I usually share what kind of information. So A quick stats is a plugin that I'll show you in a bit, kind of shows you how many people access your website. So I have 16 people accessing your website for a total of 57 times, which kind of lets me know there is people accessing my website on daily basis. So this is yesterday, 27 unique people access my website, and that's for 93 times. So there is more and more people actually accessing my site on day-to-day basis. And here it kind of shows you number of hits and how many people, etc. So let's go now to the things that I wanted to share, the plugins. So for the so I'm going to show you the site, and then going to go back to the backend and show you exactly what you are looking at. So for the social media share, it's basically this plugin is called Sassy Apps. Sassy Social Media Share. So how to usually add a plugin? So you basically go to the plugin, add a new plugin, and search for Sassy Social Media Share. So you will be able to dock the social media share on your website and enable your clients or people accessing your website to share the site with other people. So that's number one that I wanted to share with all of you. Obviously, the menu, if you like to change the menu for those who don't know how to make those changes, on a WordPress, normally it's appearance, menu. So here, basically how you control the layout of your menu, and you'll be able to decide where should it appear. So for example, under offer, I have these three tabs, which is services, software suggestions, hardware suggestions. So if you look at my website, when I put the mice over offer, services, hardware, software suggestions. Let's, for an example, if I wanted to change this layout where it put services after contact us, all I need to do is to drag and move. And now it's basically here, but you just need to save the menu. And the moment you save the menu, go back to your website, refresh the site, and you will have the services in this section. But for me, that doesn't make any sense, so I need to move it back under this section. So in this section, you will easily modify the menu and how the layout looks like. The menu is based on pages, so each one of these is a page, and you will find them here. And here is where you create the pages. So all pages, add a new page, you'll add a new page to your site. A third thing that I have on my website is the events calendar. A lot of you have events that you would like to share with your followers, or would like to people who don't know about you to kind of be able to see your upcoming events. So for example, for me, I have this events page. If I have a bigger laptop, the visual is a little bit different. And I enable this recent post because I wanted to share the posts and the updated information that I have going on in my blog section of my website, which is this section. So I added it here and here. So the events page show events. You'll be able to search by date, by keyword, view whether it's monthly view, daily view, or you can view. So after that, you click, you basically refresh the page, or you have a list view, a monthly view, so you'll be able to show your clients all the information regarding your events. So let's say for today, we have a webinar. If you click on it, it will show you the webinar details and all this information I posted in, and you can create a Google Calendar or iCal export for your followers to save on their phone or to kind of put it in their Google Calendar. Now, the way to do that, there is a plugin called Events, and you basically be able to add, see the list of events you have, add a new event, create event category, venue, and add organizer. So you can make it as simple or as complicated as you can. Now, how to add these events? The same thing, it's a plugin. So plugin, add new plugin. or for my case, excuse me. So it's in my list of installed plugins. So the events calendar. So basically, you will be able to add different events on your website, and you will be able to customize it based on the layout. So and all these plugins have a user guide section. So you will be able to decide how how you want it to look like, or if you wanted to modify the layout, you modify the colors, you'll be able to do that from the plugin itself. All right, so that's the second thing. Third thing I wanted to share with all of you is Ninja forms. So let's say on my site, I have a contact us form, and I wanted people to reach out to me if they wanted to request for help. So they'll be able to kind of fill that form and submit a request to me. So the way to do that, there is a plugin called Ninja Forms, which is this one. Now, Ninja Forms enables you to receive requests from external clients based on the different forms. So, so if you click on here, so for me, I have two different forms: Contact Us, which is for all the charities who would need help, and all people who would like to volunteer. And here's basically the different section of this plugin. So if I click on Submission, I will get a search form. So I'll be able to search based on the different forms that I would like to see. So the ID represent how many times I created different forms. So let's say the charities one, the Contact Us form. This is basically, it will load the list of charities who contact me needing help based on the Contact Us form. So you will be able to see the full details of the site and full details of the form based on what you provided here. So Ninja Form apps is very useful if you wanted to receive information from your external client. And it's also useful for those who create events and they wanted to do a registration. So you'll be able to register your attendees prior attending your event, which is actually a very useful thing, because based on that, you'll be able to know how many people attending your event. Now, another thing is the testimonial page on your site. It's very important that other people, especially if you're collecting donations, for other people to see what they think about your site. So collecting testimonials from your attendees is it's a very useful feature that will give your client comfort in your service. So for myself, I have a page called Testimonials. So here, different charities and different organizations that I work with basically wrote the kind of service I provided and whether they are satisfied. This is important because it gives new clients confidence in my service. Now, for charities, it's extremely important to have that, because you will be able to get people to support you. And the way to do that, there is a plugin called Testimonials. Obviously, the people won't be able to send the testimonials online. They will send it to you, but you will be able to post it on your site. So if you don't have a testimonial page, I recommend you actually do that, because it's definitely a useful tool. Final thing is a social media optimization plugin, which is called Yoast SEO. Sometimes you wanted to have your site that is social media friendly. Let me see. I might have removed it actually. Yoast SEO, but the app I might have removed it. I think because I installed the Sassy Social Share, so it may not be necessary for that. But another app I would like, plugin I would like to share is called Statistics, which gives you details of your site. If you remember at the beginning of the webinar, I shared with you a summary of how many people accessing my site, etc. So you'll be able to see the different statistics. At the same time, it'll give you more details about who are visiting your website based on locations. For those charities who would like to have international presence or a presence outside of Victoria, so let's say different provinces, search engine referral, so where people access your site, and different information. So it's extremely important to have something similar to that because it will help you with your strategy on how to promote your website and gain new clients. All right. There is one more plugin I would like to share with all of you because it's uh, it's basically focused on donation. This is basically a very basic topic. If for those who don't know, the first webinar was last month, and I discussed how you can generate passive income online and how to use how to use IT tools and services to actually generate that passive income. And so if you go to the events page, and so if you go back to April, so April 30th, how can NGO generate passive income online? If you basically click here, you will see the details of the webinar, and you will be able to see the video that we actually recorded for the event. So let's say if you want to collect donation on your website, what are your options? Most charities, they actually have a PayPal link, which makes a lot of sense because, sorry, not charities, so most non-for-profits, because non-for-profits, they don't have a charitable number and they actually struggle with collecting payment online and getting tax receipts, etc. So let's say if you are an NGO, what are your options? How you collect donations online? So let's take out the first option. Let's say if you are a charity and you have a registered charitable number. I will give you an example of one of my clients. So we used a service called Chimp. Now this is an organization called Victoria Coalition for Survivors of Torture. And we work on the website, changing the layout. As you can see, it's visually much more attractive, and added a banner, created a slogan, which is excellent. So hats off to Alexandra in her support for this project. Now, this is their way of collecting donations. So if you click on donate, so they subscribe to a service called Chimp, CHIMP, and it's really a really simple way of actually collecting donation. So it's a simple two-step solution. You put in the amount, put in your credit card details, continue, and the next page it will ask you where will they need to send the tax receipt. Chimp will generate the tax receipt automatically and send it to you. So you actually don't have to print tax receipt and send it to your client. So the moment they put in on the second page, the moment they put in their billing information, email address, Chimp will automatically send a tax receipt email to them, and you don't actually have to do anything. All you need to do is sign up with Chimp, which is chimp.net. It's a Canadian company. So sign up with them. Now, non-for-profit, they can also set up an account. Anyone can set up an account. But the problem comes when you try to withdraw the money. So withdrawing the money, it has to be withdrawn to another charity. So if you are a charity, no problem, you can withdraw your own money. But if you are a non-for-profit and you don't have a charitable number, you can collect money through Chimp, but if you wanted to withdraw the amount, you can withdraw it because you are not a registered charity. And if they can't find you, they won't be able to withdraw the money to your account. A work around it, if you know another charity that you actually work with, So you can send them the amount and then they can send it to you. So this is an indirect way of doing it, but I don't recommend to do it because not all charities are able to actually support in that regard. But this service is actually excellent because it minimizes the amount of work that you need to do, and it collects all the donations on your behalf, sends the tax receipts on your behalf. So the amount of work you have to do is absolute minimum. And setting up the pop-up is also extremely simple. So they have a simple guide. The only thing you need to do is they will give you a line of code that you need to put it here. Now, this button is basically what's generated after adding that line of code on the page. So it's not actually a button that you create. They will create the button for you even. And they have two colors. They have orange, and I believe the other one is yellow. So this is one way of doing it. For charities, it's excellent, and it saves you a lot of time. Let's say you are a non-for-profit and you don't have that option. You only have two ways of going by it. Number one is setting up a GoFundMe page, because setting up a GoFundMe page is the easiest way to collect donation. Anyone can do it. You can do it for your personal cause, or you can do it for your non-for-profit. So anyone can set up a GoFundMe page. You can link the bank account for your NGO, or for those who are running the NGOs by themselves, you can set up a private bank account, and the money can be withdrawn to that account, no problem. So this is the easiest way to do it. The other way, there is a plugin called Give that I am using on your website. So it will say donations at the end, but the name of the plugin is Give. So once you set up the plugin, it will create a donation form that looks like this. Now, because I'm logged into my WordPress, it's actually generated this, but let me just log out here. Now, this is basically how it will look like. You can set up the donation. I set this up yesterday. So for those who are listening, if you are willing to support my non-for-profit, feel free to test out this plugin and donate at the same time. So you'll be able to decide how much you are looking to fund, create different categories. So let's say by default, I said if the person is employed, 50, if a student, $10, NGO charity, 100, corporate, 1,000, give custom amount for those who would like to create a custom donation. Yes, Shannon, you are right. Canada Helps is also another option similar to GoFundMe, absolutely. The reason I chose to speak about Chimp, for example, Chimp is easier in terms of credit card transactions. I have a lot of people who actually, when they wanted to donate using their credit card, they have an issue where the card is not recognized. I read a couple of stories about that. So while Chimp, on the other hand, is a little bit better in that regard, so it makes I thought Chimp could be a little bit easier. The second reason is the visuals, because the way Chimps works, when you press on donate button, it pops up the donation form, which is cool. But Canada Helps, when you click on it, it takes you to another page, correct? Which kind of pulls you out of the website that you are in. Let's say if you're on your charity site, you don't want people to go to another site. You want to keep them there. So it's better that to actually have a service where you keep your client in one place. But Canada Helps also is an excellent option. So I just wanted to make that clear. So So back to the plugin, you can basically decide how much you can donate, collect all the information, and you have the option of showing people how they want to donate using PayPal, or what they should do if they wanted to do an offline donation. So offline donation, you basically give them the steps, and obviously by offline is by check, so they can send the check to your address, and you basically have the information there set up for them. So for those who actually are a non-for-profit and don't have a charitable number and they are struggling with that area, this plugin it's easier because it links with PayPal. Now this plugin is free. There is also the paid version, but the and the paid version is actually um, better in terms of visuals. So it won't be like this. It will be similar to Chimp, where it pops up the donation page, which is really good. So yeah, so these are the plugins I wanted to share with all of you. Hopefully the plugins would make the site a little bit better, a little bit more attractive. Now, one last thing I wanted to share is I got this question a lot, which a lot of people say, "Oh, I have set up my website, but when I go to how can you make my website appears on Google faster?" So if someone, let's say, if I'm in the mental health industry, let's say, for example, how when someone taps mental health, my site comes in first. Usually, the answer to that is basically make sure your site has visual and written information. Like having a paragraph at the beginning of the site is very important, because there is something called Google bots, or in some people call it robots. It depends. They actually scour the internet and look for sites and try to get the site information. So when you search on your web for the website, it kind of pulls that information and put it in Google Index. So let me show you, for example. So now I'm going to search for my site, Technology for Change Foundation. Now, the moment I say enter, this didn't used to show up. It used to show up this. But when I added information about my website, it used to show, sorry, I clicked on something else. It was to show this section. Now, if you look at my website, this section is located here. Used to be located here. But what happened is I rearranged the site, I made changes to this section, and I added this section. Now, Google bots takes a while to actually make that update, because there is not a human being that's actually make the changes. So it's a program that's going all over the internet and try to collect that information. So it's very important to know that Google bots takes a while. So what you need to do, make sure you have a lot of written content and use a language that is Google bot friendly. So that's another thing that that you might need to do a research about, the type of language and the type of phrasing. So sometimes don't repeat the same sentences more than once. Try your best to use unique words. So for example, in my case, I use volunteer, not for profit organization. So I didn't use NGO or and the reason being because this is Google bots understand this better. So established, and I try to put the location. So it's very important. Technology need for free, because that's basically what I wanted to do, is to showcase the work we are doing to NGOs for free. So always try to put some of those keywords that you wanted people to know about your charity. So I didn't use not-for-profit again. I put NGO here instead of not-for-profit. So use that type of language that helps the Google bots or Google spiders understand your website when they're doing the site crawling. Now, when they do the site crawling, they because the way Google works, whenever you type something on Google, for example, when you type this, Google is not searching the whole internet. No, it's searching its database for these websites, because those robots will take a copy of your website and put it here. So take a snapshot of your information and add it to Google. Now, this snapshot process, let's call it that, is called indexing, Google indexing. Now, how do you know your website is available on Google indexing or not? There is a lot of websites that offer this service, but I use this website called smallseotools.com, and they have an option called Google Index Checker. So you can write in your website, the name of your site, HTTP, and you put in the full website and click on Check Index Status. So this website will help you identify whether your website is indexed by Google or not, and what you can do to actually get Google to index your website. So smallseotools.com. Now, let's say if your website is not available on Google Index, there is this, you can go to Google itself and set up an account to add your website on the Google Index. To do that, go to this website, search.google.com/search console, which is a Google Search Console. So you basically have to add your website manually in the Google Index. What you are trying to do to say, hey, Google, this is my website. Please try to index it for me. So you are actually reaching out to Google to let them know about your site. And normally it takes a while for it to load, like because the bots, because you are talking about billions of websites, so it will take a while before it reaches your website. So normally a couple of days. But the way to do it manually, add a property. So just if I go back again and click on this triangle, add property, and here where you add your website. So here, let's say for my website is www.techforachange.org. So here is where you have a full website. You add it here. Now, there is a difference between the two. Now, some websites have the website that are having SSL, security socket layer. So you'll see HTTPS. So if you are HTTPS, you basically go here, but you have to type it HTTPS so Google will know why. Normally, people with the HTTPS are like banks, people who collect personal information. It's a requirement to kind of show the website is safe to kind of share your personal information. And if you look at Google, for example, here in the upper left corner is HTTPS. Not everyone needs to, but if you have it, it's good. If you don't have it, it's fine. So if you don't have it, basically type in your website and basically type it in, continue. Once you press on continue, it will take you to this page. Your website will be added here. And all the report, coverage, performance, all of it will be added in this section. So after the Google adds you to the index, and basically the information is saved properly. So yeah, so this is basically the final thing I wanted to share with all of you. I would like to thank you all for attending, and we are here to help you all. Please follow us on social media. If you have any comments or questions, obviously you have seen the contact us page, so please contact us if you need any support for your charity or for other charities that you know of. We appreciate your time. I think we have 5 minutes now for questions before the Zoom meeting expires. So if anyone have any questions in the chat or would like to send me a direct message, please let me know. Thank you very much, Shannon. Okay, the rest, I don't think anyone have any question. Thank you very much. What I'm gonna do after this event, we'll actually record this video session. So I'm gonna save it on this, upload it to YouTube and save it on this page, so you will be able to see the video in this section. And please share with your community the services that we do. Share our social media, and we are here to assist you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for listening, and let's make the world a better place. Thank you.